And a happy day to all of you out in the internet lands. Today we have for the half hour PaperPosh, a New York based hip hop artist, fashion designer, and blogger to talk about inspiration. Let's get started. All right, welcome, Paper Posh. I'm thrilled to have you. I just got acquainted with your YouTube channel, and it's awesome that you're here. So,
Thank you. Much
yeah.
love to you, Michael. My name is Paper Posh of Paper's Posh Picks.
Mhm.
I'm from Brooklyn, USA. I'm promoting my blog, my music, my clothing line, which is the Fatima Razor clothing collection. And shout out to Oregon. Much love from NYC to Oregon.
Well,
And Michael.
we appreciate it. We'll take all the love we can get. So I wanted to dive right into this because this is really the purpose of this channel, and that is to talk about inspiration and where
Yes.
you get it from.
Yes, God inspires me.
Nice.
I look at it like He woke me up this morning. He gave me the strength and energy, and I promote that to anyone that I meet. I definitely let them know that the Spirit of the Lord inspires me amongst my friends and my family and positive people in my life. I'm inspired by, you know, everything that God has blessed us with here on this green earth. And I thank God every day. We're going through a pandemic globally.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've lived through something like this personally. And I just feel honored every day that I wake up. So I'm inspired by the Lord, honestly, the one
Nice.
above, the man upstairs, the
That,
Almighty.
well, that's beautiful. Do you I mean, do you come from any religious tradition in particular, or are you more of like a blanket
Oh,
spiritual
I'm
person,
gonna,
or
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm spiritual.
great?
I for a while, was into like Buddhism and
Okay.
different stuff like that. But I started meditating and going into a yoga world and more of meditating
Hmm.
and finding that you can be any religion and meditate.
Hmm.
And everyone appreciates meditation and peace and a higher power of themselves and
Hmm.
spirituality and synergy and energy and you
That's
know
awesome. Yeah, I
your
I
your chi,
mhm.
the chakra.
one of uh one of my college experiences, I studied in India for a long time,
Mm.
and so that had an enormous influence on just how I looked at the world. And I agree with you.
Wow. So
Yeah.
how was it in India? I know you're interviewing me, but I would like to know from a fashion style sense because I love garb
Hmm.
from different cultures and I know about the saris
Yeah.
because a lot of my friends were Hindu
Mhm.
and Buddhist when I was into that type of stuff. So they wore those things that were from India. So how was it dressing there for you?
Well, I wore Western clothing for the most part, but
Oh,
yeah, the sari, is like it's one of the most alluring pieces of clothing that I think a woman can wear.
wow.
It is it's an absolutely beautiful garment, and yeah, I absolutely,
I
I
was given one from the goddess. I don't know if you ever heard about the goddess. She's Hindu, and I met her at a temple for a festival, and it was amazing. So I agree with you with the sari being a very nice piece of clothing.
yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So
And speaking of that, my clothing collection, the Fatima Razor clothing collection, on sale now. You can Google it and you can find me
mhm.
online. And I make pieces like that,
Oh,
bags
nice.
and different things inspired by different designers.
That's beautiful. Well, make sure to send me over a link, and I'll put it in the description
Thanks.
so people can find it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, one thing that you talked about when we started this conversation was like the turmoil of the lockdown,
Yeah.
and I'm curious, what's the scene like in New York City, the music scene
Oh,
where
oh.
you all are locked down?
In New York City, the music scene definitely was a lot of, I guess, virtual stuff going on
Mhm.
for a long time. And I was in the recording studio spraying sanitizer. Like you can
Yeah,
look on my YouTube page and see I
yeah,
recorded during this pandemic. And I definitely found it interesting because when I went to the studio that I particularly recorded, I was the first artist that recorded there in the pandemic. So everybody was like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Don't
yeah.
touch anything, don't breathe. So I'm spraying like sanitizer, air sanitizer. I'm wiping everything down. My aunt is in there with scarves on, talking about she got on gloves, this. It's like we were in there and we did it and we made it. And then I started going out more and then I actually performed. um and it was interesting because the way they had it, people were 6 feet away from each other. It was mass, sanitizer. It was a lot of not really conversation, but people did conversate. So the scene has been pretty locked down to where, like, I'm honestly trying to reach out to people like yourself
Hmm.
in different places to see what's going on because I'm not afraid to travel. Like, so I'm like, what's going on in the pandemic?
Right.
So, you know, I'm just excited. So how was it in Oregon? Like, what you guys have shows? Are you allowed to go to studios?
Yeah, it's tricky here. I live in a rural area actually. I moved here for a job, but in the Portland, the larger cities areas, they're struggling. They're struggling to put on live events. It's hard
Aw.
for artists now. Yeah. So I think it's just a nationwide thing. We're all in the same boat.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, what I'm going to say is in New York, I guess we're kind of lucky because the mayor and the governor are kind of easing up on us.
Okay.
But when it first happened, it was really, really strict and a lot of things were virtual. But now we're pretty much opening back up. Like New
Nice.
York is opening, but it's like to capacity where it's like if you do a show, you can only have a couple of people there, like maybe 150, but it would have to be a big enough venue to hold people. So they're opening venues back up like Madison Square Garden and the Barclays
Nice.
Center because the Nets are playing with fans.
Nice.
Um, they had a performance there. Shout out to Little Kim. She performed there for the halftime show. So they've been doing shows. Like people are doing shows. Like,
Mhm. Hey, I wonder if it's not too much trouble. The music that you're listening to is coming through pretty heavy.
oh,
And
okay.
yeah,
Shot honey, that new track they saying he gotta they give it a minute because he has to answer some questions.
yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
So that
Yeah,
right there, we're listening to some new music right now. That's what that was. See,
that's
like I told
yours,
you,
right? It's
yeah, of
yeah,
that, yeah, that's some new music that I'm working on right now.
nice.
Um, I'm working on a lot of new music actually right now. I'm so excited. And shout out to Vogue. Hold on one second. Excuse me. Yeah. Um, Shout out to Vogue on sale now. Shout out to Fight. That's one of my songs
Okay,
that's on sale.
thank you. Yeah, because that's the track I wanted to talk to you about. Is
Okay.
yeah, that was the one that popped out to me more. I mean, I've enjoyed listening to all of your music, but
Thank you.
that
And I
yeah,
made it because I want to fight the covert. So like
okay.
it's like the theme song for the whole COVID-19 movement. So it's kind of like, are you tired of wearing masks?
Hmm.
You want to fight this. I'm on my PPP. I'm on my PPE. You
Hmm.
get what I'm saying? So we're like, I feel like as a world, we need to fight this. So I was playing around with the concept of it, but it pretty much stuck and it became a song. And then I just
Yeah.
started talking about what I've been doing in the pandemic as it's been opening up. So, like my restaurants that I've been able to go to while I've been in the pandemic, shout out to McDonald's, shout out to BBQ, shout out to like, and I felt like everybody has this where they live into a capacity you would understand what I'm saying. you don't want to live like this anymore. So it's like at home, I'm able to put my eyelashes on and my makeup because I'm like a big makeup person. So for me, this like hurt me. I can't wear lip gloss. Oh my gosh, I have to wear matte and my lips dry out. Oh no, like I was going through it on a cosmetic vibe. So the fight is, that's what it's about. It's actually fighting the covert.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And I think you work with a producer, right?
Mhm.
For your beats. Yeah. So can you walk us
I
through?
work with I work with a lot of producers.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, Sha Honeywell is one of my main producers that
Nice.
I work with. And shout out to um, Jersey, the Gray Note, Navarro Gray, his producers and his studio, awesome. They're calling these people the East Coast Dr. Dre. Like, I'm like, wow, like
Wow.
I
Nice.
worked with some of the most amazing producers, man. Shout out.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Pharrell. Shout out to who? Oh, Chris Gunner. Shout out to
Yeah.
Chris Gunner. I just heard about this new artist today. Shout out to all of these people that I'm working with. Like I'm just, people are contacting me. I'm contacting people. Things are working. But getting back to fight, go ahead since you know what
Oh,
it's about.
well, yeah, yeah. I guess I'm just curious about the process. Like, what kind of a role do you play in, if any, in the beat creation? Do you start with a music concept and then move to the beat? Like, can you walk us through like the nuts and bolts of it?
Well, for me, I'm honestly like a type of artist. I've worked in different capacities, like of music. It depends on where it comes from. Like sometimes I'll sit there and just come up with an idea before I hear a beat. Sometimes I'll go into a studio like Grey Note in Jersey and I just will hear a beat and I'll just start rapping and be like, yo, this is what it is. Sometimes I'll have a song literally in the chambers and like I'll just like it'll just come out. So it depends on like what vibe I'm on because I've been creating music since I was a kid. So for me, it's like when I listen to a beat, I will attack it. Like it doesn't matter what genre of music it is. If it's rock music, shout out to Kurt Cobain, one of my favorite rock stars. Um, if it's reggae, Bob Marley. If it's pop music, like Rihanna. If it's, you get what I'm saying,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
R&B, like Mary J, like gospel, like Shirley Caesar. Like I'm on it. Like I just love music. I love old school music. I like it all. I like, Fleetwood Mac. Shout out to Fleetwood Mac. I met them. They're totally awesome. Shout out to the
That's great.
Go-Go's. Anybody that can outdo Ozzy and Blow, I need to know you. Like, I don't care how old you are. I want to know what happened. Because I was told, FYI, that the Go-Go's were kicked out of Ozzy's room because they did more coke than him. So I'm like, yo, this
That is an
era.
accomplishment.
I'm like, what era is this?
Yeah. That's
Like,
amazing.
what were they doing? The Go-Go's.
Well,
So, like, I like people like that too. I love to hear people's stories. I like
but
artists like Lady Gaga. I like
yeah.
music.
But that's interesting because you, you know uh there's a
They're
lot.
mixing more music in the background. But go
That's
ahead.
okay. That's all right.
Okay.
There's so much crossover. I was thinking about like you were talking about Ozzy and like I was thinking about the Post Malone Ozzy crossover, thing and introducing like him to a whole new generation of artists, and
Mhm.
talking about how diverse your influences are. Um, and and I wonder it on one level it's like that there's something so beautiful about that like everybody's able to come together over music, but then on the other side it's like there I have kind of a puritanical streak. It's like in a way I kind of want my hip hop to be hip hop and my rock to be rock, and like
Oh, well, to me, I like enjoy everything.
yeah.
If it's a combo, a combo. If it's separate, it's separate. If it's a good song, it's a good song. You know, then I have moments where I listen to certain music, maybe because I'm working out, or I listen to certain music because I'm driving, or I listen to certain music. Like I like to listen to my diva music when I'm putting on my makeup, like so I can feel diva as like, you know, whatever mood I'm in. Of course, when you're getting romantic, you want to listen to something a little more sexy. So it's like everything to me, music is like a part of life. It's like your mood.
Right. Well, you see, that's when you need to put on some paper posh, you know.
Of course. Hey. And shout out to All Cash. We're listening to All Cash 400.
Nice.
And me, this is a artist that I did a song with from Cleveland, Ohio.
Wow.
So he's definitely cool. So I've just been, this has been an interesting week for me, because I've been skipping around the United States like doing interviews. And you shocked me when you said Oregon, because I never did an interview in Oregon. So
Wow.
like literally you're the first person that has ever interviewed me in Oregon.
Right.
That's why I'm so fascinated,
And
because
mhm.
I'm like, everybody else is like, oh, we're from, like, you know, they're like, oh, we're from here, we're from there. And I'm like, okay, that's nice. But those were places that I've already actually did interviews, or I've met people. It's kind of like a round robin,
Mhm.
you know, vibe. You
Right.
know, I've never met anyone from Oregon in the
Wow.
entertainment industry, in anything like, so this to me is very fascinating, and it means I'm really breaking through with what I want to do, because my goal this year was, you need to do stuff that you haven't done this year, do something different. And honestly, being from New York, you're spoiled because everyone comes to New York.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then with the pandemic, it was like, you're not spoiled, like you said, because you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything. So it was like, whatever's here is here, whatever's there is there. So
Right.
this taught me you really got to reach and dig deep online and meet people, and you know, really like go for the gusto, girl, for you to get out there, you know.
Were you born in New York?
Yes, Brooklyn, USA. And you
Wow.
know, they say good things come from Brooklyn, but shout out to the world, no matter where you're born. I'm pretty sure everyone is fabulous. Even if you're born in Oregon, man, I'm telling you.
And you're appearing in rural Oregon, actually, you know, so
Yeah,
it's
this
even
is exciting.
more remote. Right. Yeah.
Oh.
So I guess one of the other things that I've been discussing with artists is how we cut through, you know, the noise. It's like it just seems like there's so much out there that to get our voices heard, um, you know, it's cool that we have social media, but it seems like that has a challenge in and of itself.
Mhm.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, I feel like with social media and everything that's going on, I feel like when you're an artist and you're in creating mode and such, you should kind of like limit yourself to those types of things. And with social media, use it as a tool to inspire you if you do stay on it. So like look at the trend. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See what's going on and kind of just get in the mix. And I get what you're saying, because it's kind of like a designer, because I design,
Yeah.
and what they say in the designer world is, how many times can a designer do a logo bag? So it becomes in the sense of, okay, you know how like Louis Vuitton has a certain print or Gucci has that print. It's like every designer does that same thing where it's like, this is the such and such bag with that design. So as an artist, you want to try to not be like that same coat. You want to have a button a little different. You want to have, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. So if you look at it like that, you know, in that sense, when it goes to online and social media, you as an artist have to say, listen, I know this girl is hot. I know this guy is hot, but I'm hot too. And I'm sexy. And that's why I love to watch RuPaul Drag Race, because everybody on that show to me has their own personality, their own character, their own style. And it teaches me that, and I've learned from that show. And a lot of people I know are like, oh my gosh, you're PaperPosh. How do you learn from this show? And I'm like, because everybody is their own diva. It's like the entertainment industry with all these girls up here battling each other on the stage for the spotlight. You are your own diva. You're your own Don. You're your own person, however you want to classify yourself. And speaking of that, shout out to Like I'm on the Race, Vogue, my song, dedicated to the race, which is in the background right now.
Nice.
I'm so excited about that. And also shout out to Pose, which is one of my favorite television shows. It's coming May 2nd, new season, Mother Blanca, Darling, The House of Abundance, Angel, all of my favorite characters. Yes.
Beautiful.
And I love to watch shows that are fun, full of color, full of life. And I'm just an exciting person myself, as you can see.
Clearly.
So
Clearly.
I just can't wait to spread the word of me around more. And that's why this is a special day for me, because I've never been promoted in Oregon.
Well, there you go.
This is so awesome.
Yeah. The one of well, first off, one of the first people I interviewed on this was a drag producer, and I wholeheartedly agree that there's an incredible style that comes from that kind of subculture. But I'm curious about, because you're a fashion designer and a blogger and a hip hop artist, and you have your fingers in all of these pies, right? And I guess, can you speak to how one feeds the other?
I feel like when you're an entertainer, you're supposed to do what you do. And that's always been a part of me. Like certain people have their own things that they're into. I've always been into that type of stuff where other entertainers, honestly, for a very long time. And I guess that's what kind of held me up. But to a degree, I'm working on a project, doing a movie and a documentary of, what I went through and my story of how I got to where I got in the pandemic, everything that's going on, just to be real, keeping it 100. Ups, downs, highs, lows. It's gonna happen, and I'm doing it through this platform, and I'm excited that I've met other creators to help me make my vision come to life. But make a long story short, when I first started all of this, I said to myself, girl, you're gonna do it all. You look at all these other artists and these other entertainers that are out there, and you say they're doing it. I want to do it too. So I would be influenced by the people that were out at the time. And I was influenced by some of the most awesomest people in the world. And I just kept going. I did not stop for anyone. I'm telling you, it did not matter if I was homeless, if I was not homeless, if I was whatever was going on. I'm like, I'm a diva. This is me. I'm going to get it together. I knew how to put my lashes and twirl my teeth and put my little gloss on and put my fitted on or whatever, comb my afro out, whatever was going on at that time, and keep that smile on and make it happen. Because like they say, in show business, the show must go on.
That's true. Yeah, that's 100%. Can you give us a teaser at all for the documentary?
Well, this is what's going on. I'm in negotiation right now with the editor that I want to work with this project, because I've been handpicking people based on, my spirit and my energies of how I want people to work with me, with my marketing, even with everything that's going on. And I did not start filming anything yet. It's just been storyboarding and meetings with my investors and my management. My mother is my business partner at this point. Shout out to my mom. We're going to be working on some things, and she wants to do a reality show. She's on some like, I want people to see me when I wake up until I go to sleep, because I am a diva. I'm fabulous. I'm your mother. I want people to see your daddy who made you. My brothers are also famous rappers that you'll be surprised of who they are. So it's like the industry doesn't know a lot about me. And once they do, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, these are her brothers. This is her brother. This is her mother. Oh gosh, this Miss Thing is something else. Oh, no wonder she was so fierce. And then she's so, like you said, I do it a lot of stuff. So people were so like, you're so good. we want you to work for us. And it became a shadowing of, I'm working for everyone else. When am I going to have time for myself? So I had to like break away and say, okay, everyone, listen, I'm going to put out my own project now. This is how you get what I'm saying. It was that bad. Like, and that's how the industry is. And I'm kind of flattered to a degree, because it's like, damn, you were that nice that you were that busy working on other people's stuff, to where, like, literally, I don't even want to tell you how much time went by where I was literally working behind the scenes in the industry before I even stepped foot in the front. Like, I'm serious. A lot of people, but like in the entertainment industry that are famous, know that it was because of my ideas or my influence or my little 2 cents. You get what I'm saying? Even when it came to making connections, being a stylist, brushing shoulders with this person, that person. And if you do research, you'll see I did it.
Okay. All right. That's fantastic, man. I just got to say I've absolutely loved listening to your music and
Thank you.
checking out your video blogs and stuff like that. It's I I will make sure that everybody has a link to especially your YouTube channel. But
Oh, Michael, you've been poshed officially. You're Oregon. You've been
right.
poshed. So
I,
everybody in Oregon, thank Michael for
oh,
being posh. Because if it wasn't for Michael being who he is, the baddest out here,
oh,
Oregon wouldn't have got posh today on Friday. So this is a special day for me and my followers too.
well,
The
definitely
posh
for me.
population.
Yeah. Well, you take care and keep us posted on projects.
Of course. I'm trying to tell you, Michael, you're awesome.
Oh,
You got me over here ready to go jogging in my Nikes, yo. Like, I'm
right.
feeling myself.
Right back at you. Yeah. Well, take care.
Yes.